Good afternoon. Good afternoon. This is Rashad Mitchell coming to you live from my YouTube channel, the Rashad Mitchell YouTube channel. I'm gonna start a new series, brand new spanking series, new streams of content. It's about the best professional sports teams that didn't win a championship during that season. This is part one. I'll be talking about teams that I saw in my lifetime. I'm not gonna go back in time and teams I didn't see, but teams that I saw in my lifetime, actually saw. And I'm gonna look at teams from the NBA, Major League Baseball, and the NFL, of teams that had great teams, had good teams, really, really good teams, great teams, but they did not win a championship during that season. The best teams that I saw that didn't win a championship. So we're gonna start with the NBA teams. We're gonna start with the Portland Trailblazers. Portland Trailblazers, 1990 Portland Trailblazers, because this is a team that should have won the championship in 1990. Yes, they went up against the Detroit Pistons, the Bad Boy Pistons. They was en route to their second consecutive NBA championship. They had been in the finals the last couple of years during that time, 88 and 89. They lost in 88 to the Lakers in 7. Should have won that series, but they lost. And then in 89 they swept the Lakers, and they won it in 1990 against the Portland Trailblazers. But the Portland Trailblazers were a team that finally got over the hump, started getting things going with the additions of Buck Williams at the fourth position. Remember, he played for the New Jersey Nets. He was an all-star forward. That was a huge addition. They had Kevin Duckworth, Jerome Kersey, Terry Porter, Cliff Robinson, guys like that. And they were 59-23, coached by Rick Alderman. Obviously had Clyde Drexler as their leading guy. And this is a team that really overachieved, because their expectations was modest going into the 89-90 season. And they were surprising, 59-23. They had the third seed in the Western Conference. They swept the Dallas Mavericks. They beat the San Antonio Spurs in 7 games in the second round, and they beat the Phoenix Suns in the 6 games in the conference finals. So everything was hunky-dory for the Blazers. And they played a Detroit Pistons team. Again, they were on a mission to get to that championship number 2 for the franchise. They already had the experience getting past the Celtics, getting past the Bulls, and getting past the Lakers and stuff like that. And now they had Portland in their way during that period of time. And Portland was trying to win their first championship since 1977, when Bill Walton and the crew won it against the Sixers. So reason why I say this is a team that was one of the best teams not to win the championship, that didn't win the championship that season, because they could have won more championships during that early 90s period, which I will get into during this series. So we're going to look at the NBA Finals matchup between the Blazers and the Detroit Pistons, because I remember this series. Portland should have won this series. Number one, they lost game 1, a game that they should have won. Because first of all, they had a 10-point lead, 90-80, with 7 minutes to go. And it looked like they was going to get this first win in the NBA Finals on the road in Auburn Hills. But they didn't, because Isaiah Thomas just went off, played a great game. Remember, Detroit was 59-23. They was the number 1 team in the conference. They had the number 1 seed. Number 3 seed was the Portland Trailblazers. They led the Eastern Conference with the best record. And this is a team that didn't have Rick Mahorn on it, because Rick Mahorn went to Minnesota Timberwolves in the 1989 NBA expansion draft, and they was traded to the Philadelphia 76ers. But anyway, this game was interesting because the Blazers had a 10-point lead, 90-80. But after a timeout, Isaiah Thomas got the Pistons going with the layup, hit a jumper, then Joe Dumars made a 3-point play Mark Aguirre scored on an offensive rebound. In less than 3 minutes, Detroit had cut the lead to 92-89. Buck Williams hit a jumper to make the score at 94-89. Then Isaiah Thomas scored 7 straight points, including 2 free throws, a 3-point shot, and an 18-foot shot to give the Pistons their first lead. So with 1:49 left, Isaiah Thomas put a dagger into the Blazers by sticking an open 3-point shot for a 99-94 lead, and the Pistons went on to win 105-99. Now, this is a game that the Blazers won. I'm going to say it again. The Blazers had a 10-point lead with 7 minutes left. You think a Clyde Drexler, would taking over that game. Again, I remember that series, but that was a bad loss. Very bad loss. And so they lose the first game, but they came back and won game 2, 106-105 in overtime. Clyde Drexler had 33 points. And Bill Laimbeer hit 6 3-pointers. He had a great game, Bill Laimbeer. He scored 7 points over the first 3 periods, but played a great game in the fourth quarter and overtime. He had 19 points over the last 17 minutes. The Pistons had a 94-91 lead with 49 seconds left after a John Sally tip-in. Then 5 seconds later, Clyde Drexler, who finished with 33 points, made a free throw. So with 23 seconds left, Isaiah Thomas missed a potential game-clinching layup. Then Terry Porter tied the game at 94 with a pair of free throws with 10 seconds left. And then the game went to overtime when Thomas missed an 18-foot jump shot at the buzzer. Then there was a hook shot by James Edwards and 2 3-pointers by Bill Laimbeer, to give the Pistons a 102-98 lead with 1:30 left in overtime. Porter hit another set of 3 free throws to trim the lead to 2. Then Clyde Drexler tied the game at the 1-minute mark with a 17-foot shot. So Portland took the lead 104-102 when Isaiah Thomas fouled out with 1:10 left. Laimbeer promptly bailed the Pistons out with 4.1 seconds remaining by hitting a 25-foot 3-pointer for a 105-106 lead. Then Portland gave the ball to Drexler, who was fouled by Dennis Rodman. He had a sore ankle at the time with 2 seconds left, and Drexler made both foul shots to give the Blazers a 106-105 lead. So the Pistons quickly passed the ball to Edwards, who tried a shot from the left of the paint, but rookie Clifford Robinson blocked it at the last second, and the Blazers won game 2 and took away the home court advantage. Now at this time, game 2 of the 1990 finals marked the first time in 6 years that a finals game went into overtime, the last being in game 4 of the 1984 NBA finals. So you thinking that the Blazers right now, at this point, if you're a Blazer fan, they're going to win this series because of the 2-3-2 format, which was instituted, I believe, in 1985 NBA Finals when the Lakers played the Celtics. In a 2-3-2 format, the team with the 3 middle games, especially if we got split on the opponent's home court, you can win the series. Unfortunately, that didn't happen with the Blazers. That's why I'm talking about this right now, about the 1990 Portland Trailblazers. But anyway, the Trailblazers come back to their place. Game 3, they lose 121-106. Play awful. They did not get the job done. And according to this stat, there were 2 things that were stacked against the Pistons. Number 1, they had not won in Portland in 17 years. 2, they would be without Dennis Rodman, who had ankle injury. But Vinnie Johnson, the microwave, proved why he was the microwave. He had 21 points, making 9 of 13 shots. Joe Dumars had 33 points. They just played great. They had a great game. And they won 121-106 behind Joe Dumars' 33 points. Game 4 was a much closer game. Clyde Drexler had 34 points, 10 assists, 8 rebounds, almost had a triple-double. Isaiah Thomas had 32 points. The Blazers got off to a great start. They were up 32-22 at the end of the first quarter. But Vinnie Johnson and Joe Dumars took over. They had a 9-0 run. They pulled the Pistons to win to within 1 point, 32-31. And they led 51-46 at halftime. The Detroit defense was very suffocating. They held the Blazers to only 14 second quarter points. So Isaiah, then he took off in the third quarter. He had 22 points in the third quarter, capped his onslaught with a three-pointer at the 2:15 mark, and gave the Pistons an 81-65 lead. So over the next 8 minutes, the Blazers suddenly remembered the pressure defense, running that running game that had gotten them to the NBA Finals. So they went on a 28-11 run of their own, and Terry Porter drove for a layup to give them a 93-92 lead with 5:20 left. The game became a nip and tuck affair until Detroit led 106-102 on a jump shot by Dumars with 1:16 to go. But the Blazers fought back and had a chance to tie it with 35 seconds left. Buck Williams missed one of the two free throws, and the Portland Trail Blazers trailed 106-105. So there was a scramble under the Pistons basket with 4 seconds later. Bill Lambert drew his sixth foul. He fouled out, and Clyde Drexler made his free throws to give Portland the 107-106 lead with 31.8 seconds left. But Isaiah Thomas responded by hitting a 22-foot jumper that gave Detroit a 108-107 lead. With 9 seconds left, Porter attempted to drive on Dumars, but Joe blocked his pad. Thomas scooped up the ensuing loose ball and headed the other way. Danny Young quickly fouled him as he let fly a 55-footer that went in. The officials ruled it no good, but Thomas made the free throws for a 110-107 lead with 8.4 seconds showing. Mark Aguirre then fouled Porter with 6.5 seconds left. He made both, drawing Portland to 110-109 on the ensuing play. James Edwards got the ball down court to a wide-open Gerald Henderson for an easy layup and a 112-109 lead. Portland now had the ball in a 1.8 seconds to get a shot. The Blazers whipped the ball up court to Danny Young, who knocked down a 35-footer from the right sideline. Immediately, players from both benches came onto the floor. The Blazers, believing the game was now tied. The Pistons, obviously, they felt that it didn't count. So veteran referee Earl Strom called his final NBA game, huddled the officials, and signaled that the shot was too late. So videotape replays later confirmed the accuracy of the call. And now the Blazers were down 3-1. Now remember this game, obviously, vividly, the 92-90 win by the Pistons in Game 5. This is the game where Vinnie Johnson hit the jump shot over Jerome Kersey, who guarded him. This game was interesting because this is a game that the Blazers should have won. They blew leads, and like the Game 1 lead, they had a 10-point lead with 7 minutes left. They blew that game. They blew an 8-point lead in Game 5. The Blazers, in the third period, with 10 minutes to play in the game, they led 76-68. Because the Pistons shot poorly to start the game. They missed 7 of 11 shots. They still led 26-22 after the first quarter. They held the same 4-point advantage at halftime, 46-42, but the Blazers rallied in the third quarter. So with 10 minutes to play in the game, they led 76-68. Then Vinnie Johnson, the microwave, took off. He scored all of Detroit's points in a 9-0 run to give the Pistons a 77-76 edge with 6:35 to go. Then the Blazers stepped up their pressure again, had a 7-point lead. Check this out, 7-point lead with 2 minutes and 5 seconds left. But they couldn't hold it. Now, Clyde Drexler did foul out. That was big because now Portland got into like a scoring drought. They picked the wrong time to be in a scoring drought. So they could not score the rest of the way. And then Vinnie Johnson took over again. He scored 7 points in Detroit's astounding 9-0 run to close the game out in the series, where he hit the 15-foot jumper over Jerome Kersey from the right sideline. He played great defense with 7/10 of a second left. And that was it. That was the ball game. The MVP of this game, of the series, was Isaiah Thomas. He was the finals MVP. He scored 33 points, 23 points, 21 points, 32 points, 29 points. He scored 33, 23, 21, 32, and 29 points in succession in the 5 games. He made 11 3-pointers and 16 3-point shot attempts. He averaged 27.6 points a game, 8 assists a game, and 5.2 rebounds a game. So he was just that amazing, that sensational in the series. In defeat, Clyde Drexler averaged 26 points a game, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists. But this was a bad job by the Blazers, man. The Blazers fell short in a series that they should have won. Think what I talked about. They blew certain leads and certain segments of the games that they played in this NBA Finals against the Pistons. They should have beaten the Pistons. The Pistons were beatable because they played a Game 7 against the Bulls in 1990 in the Conference Finals. They were beatable. And the Blazers were right there. They should have won this series. So that concludes a look at the best professional sports teams that didn't win the championship during that season. This is part 1, 1990 Portland Trail Blazers. I got more to come with this series. I'm going to do a part 2 tomorrow. So you subscribe to the channel. Subscribe, like, comment. This is Rashad Mitchell. Come to you from my YouTube channel. Until then, talk to you later on. I'll be doing another stream of content, a different stream of content that's coming up real soon today. Until then, talk to you soon.